Everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we talk everything and anything SEO and marketing. Today we have Dirk. Dirk is very well-known SEO expert in our iGaming sphere. And today we'll be talking about the very popular topic of DMCAs because they are everywhere. You just clean up one, another five appear. So yeah, a topic to definitely discuss and tell you all how we feel about it. Hello, Dirk.
Hi, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure, Van. Thank you once again. But yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I mean, let's face it, especially the iGaming, it's we call it ground zero for anything negative SEO, and the DMC, the new one seems to be quite popular at this time. Yeah, DMCA.
Yeah. It started last year more. I started to see it more and more, but this year is just crazy. It's everywhere. When you visit the Lumen database, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of pages. Most of them are complete bullcrap, if you ask me. There's no ground, but we just still love to send it to each other. It's like a new sport. If you are not sending DMCAs, you are not in iGaming SEO. Are you seeing this in your work because you're consulting right now? You're doing a lot of affiliation. You're working with all of the difficult things. So what are you seeing?
Absolutely. I mean, from statistics alone, the last I read was that by this year, there are over 10 million DMCA notice requests. So that alone can give you the number that it's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, the main problems that I see, the two main really key problems is kind of from a ranking point of view, with the AI and the way Google and all search engines are ranking. I've always said that having a brand rank has become the main thing to go by nowadays. It's not like just let's buy best casino online and rank for that. Having a brand itself is one of the most important things. So the MCA requests on this is perfect because you're targeting that and you can get easy quick wins for negative, let's call them attackers in this case. The other huge problem is that a lot of the filing is anonymous. So that is another huge thing. So anonymous filing is very tricky to go about. But yeah, it's something you have to be super reactive. You can't just wait for things to kind of cool off. You have to make sure you have a setup in place because otherwise, all your good deeds from a branding point of view can literally go down the drain in a couple of hours. I mean, this is how fast from a DMCA request within a few hours, your main page can be de-indexed in the worst case scenario. So that's why you can't wait and see how things happen. You have to make sure you have people on board, having tools as well that they daily track, if possibly even every hour or so, depending on the sensitivity of each page you have. You have to be super reactive. You can't just wait on it. That's one thing that I'd suggest to anyone.
What would be your process? Which tools would you use? And what would be your process of tracking and fighting this? I mean, I would like to talk about two things. One, when people are sending you fake anonymous DMCAs, and once when they steal your website and you need to file DMCA yourself. So let's start with the fake ones, the ones that are actually really the problem right now, because as you said, your pages get delisted in Google SERPs. Your main money pages are gone. It takes 2 to 3 weeks to get them back. You get them back, they send you another DMCA, you're down. Your business is dying. And this is not just affiliates, this is operators as well. It's everyone. It's just endless. So, what is your process? What would you recommend? How to track it, where to check, how to act? I think we all have got our own processes and love when people share it because we always come up with that one extra thing to make our life easier or our fight better.
There's unfortunately no one tool that can help you do this. So that's one thing to get it over and done. And so there's not one tool that can give you a kind of one-stop shop. You definitely cannot depend it, unfortunately, just on legal, because as we know, these things, Google are very reactive. So as I said, you can be down online within hours. And we know that any legal action that you try and take usually takes weeks. So your business, I mean, some people's yearly profit can be lost. And in this case, if it's a primary time, if you're waiting for I don't know, NFL, Super Bowl, and you plan to get your stuff ranking, and it can literally kill your yearly revenue with this. So regarding tools, again, you always have to make sure that from a Lumen database, you would I wouldn't suggest having it manually set up, but nowadays you have the API. So for real top end businesses, you need to make sure you have a kind of either external development in-house where at least you set up for your main brands. You're constantly checking these. You have to use custom built tools mainly most of the times, as being that there's not a one-stop shop for it. So you do need to kind of build and invest. I mean, we're talking about significant money here. So I would very much recommend investing in these things. You do have to build real-time tracking from a SERP point of view as well, just to make sure your main brand tracking pages, if you see any sort of shift, both in ranking, you have to make sure you're, again, reactive, whether that's kind of something that you accidentally did from a content point of view, but as any movement, you have to be super reactive on that. Google Search Console as well, you have to make sure that from a Google Search Console, you have instant de-indexing on certain pages unnaturally. You have to have notifications done there as well. So with tools, whatever with Looker Studio, you have to make sure you're pulling data and giving you alerts, even setting up in the morning, in the evening. Again, you have to be super reactive. It's going to be a monumental task to have it done manually. You can do it manually if you're a kind of relatively small team that can't invest, but there are risks in this case as well because you're going to miss something. But again, it's a combination. Google Search Console, so you need something like the Lumen database where you're pulling the API. You can refresh the data that allows you to refresh the data, and you're pulling it multiple times a day or whatever, once a day. You're making sure that if there's any of your target brand names in there, that it sends you an alert in that case. So yeah, Google Search Console, and again, some sort of keyword or indexing tool from a keyword perspective, just to see that your pages, the sudden movement in that are unnatural. So those will definitely be the first tools I would definitely look into.
Absolutely. I like to use What's My SERP because you can refresh hourly and it's like $20 a month. It's super cheap. And you can see if the main pages are ranking for your branded keywords or not, or if they're down. I recently managed to recover something for a client and just like everything is back and it looks beautiful. And I look at it hourly like, oh, this is so pretty. I look at it still, it's taken down again. But yeah, it's good. I think this is a very good process you have. And then you can file the counter notice, which is like a task on its own. Because even if you file it, doesn't mean it's going to be successful. Even if you're 100% sure that this is fake, it might not go through. It might take weeks. It might say it's like, okay, I've done it. I'm going to watch it for 2-3 weeks. Then the time is up. It should be back. It isn't. And there is nothing you can do. So what is your process here? Is there any shortcut? Is there anything you are watching, you are measuring, you are tracking?
So one thing as well in this case is, if example, let's take a brand, whatever called brand A, you have to make sure that at least one thing is any sort of domain combination. You have to make sure you buy. I mean, these are the basics. So if your brand name is called Brand Casino, you have to make sure you buy all the main domains that the brand that come in that form, whether brandname.com, brandname.io. Buy everything out. I mean, it's going to cost you maybe a couple of hundreds, but trust me, in the long term, it will be a headache, because the last thing you want, if, example, you're brand name Casino and you operate in, let's say, Australia, okay, and the AU domain is usually the last to go because it's a bit hard to get. You have to have a local register, but again, these attackers are very smart and they have ways to actually attain that sort of domain. So if they get their hands, this is one of the main things I see. If they get their hands on your brand name exactly with the country code, that's already a huge one that can quickly overtake you, both from authority point of view and even like a brand recognition. Google will see it as, this is definitely a legit site. So simple things like that. Make sure you have access to it. Make sure you have proper copyright infringement on your brand. Make sure everything is protected from a legal point of view. Don't wing it. Make sure you have all the certificates in place as well. So when you need to file a reverse on anything, you're quick, because they're going to ask for them as well. Make sure you have, if it's a repeat offender, you have open communication. So keep backup of previous offenses you have as well. And make sure you keep it all in a shared folder. That's one thing as well. So when you reapply, you have a full history of it as well. Luckily with AI, you can really organize it well nowadays. You place everything in a file and it will structure it for you with the timestamps of anything, with the offender's name, previous form of your websites. Make sure you use something like Wayback Machine or tools like you use. You have the historical data of your content as well, just to show that you kind of are both keeping track and that you own both the content, the website, and the brand name of yourself.
Absolutely. But it is an uphill climb, and Google is not being helpful. I think Google is the only one who can sort this out. I don't know if they should start to ignore it or change the process. I don't know. But nowadays, when you file anything, it is lots of automation behind it. So I think this is one of the things we started to do it more. So the times for recovery of fake DMCAs is longer. And if you file it now, you get the email like, we get too many of these, we will get to you when we get to you. Sort of, there is no, and then when it recovers, it's not congratulations, you were right, we were wrong. It's just suddenly it's working again. It's you don't get apology or anything. So yeah, it is a lot of checking. And as well,
that's why I think it's already too late. If you receive an email, I feel it's already too late. If it's because remember that usually takes some time. So that's why you do have to have these real-time monitors in place. Because by that time you would have already lost possibly a couple of days on your prime ranking. So that's why I would emphasize the real importance on real-time monitoring tools.
Yes, try to be more proactive than reactive, but in this case we are still very reactive, because even if you submit DMCA and you get like 500 URLs in it, it doesn't mean that you are in a Lumen database, right? You're not going to find them all because Lumen database is not exactly user friendly. And if you don't get the notification from Google saying this page has been reported, then you might completely miss it. If you are lucky to get it in a best case scenario, it might be just one of these 500, and you can get it every day because they don't review all of them at once. There is an automation on it. So even if you have a real claim, it might not go through it because the automated AI might not see it as a real claim. I mean, I think Google needs to completely change the processes. Not that they're going to listen to this podcast and say, Ivana was right, but I think that's what had to happen, because the DMCA Act is not going to go away. Bill Clinton is not going to come back and like, it was a good idea, I'm going to cancel it now. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think this is, as I said, I think it was the first or secondary problem that I see is the anonymous filing. You have to have a full YAML you have to know the person, put a full identification check when someone applies. This is the first thing I would apply. Like anyone who applies for something like this, when you can really do harm, you have to get full verification. You make sure you take their ID real time today. And I mean, nowadays, it's the most common thing. So before someone files, I think if they even just import this, it would resolve significant amount of the problem as well. So someone, again, no problem if it's someone, whatever, Russia, whatever country they are, but at least you get the real verification with real ID and real verification of that person would significantly improve at least automation, because as you said, there's too many of them. So a lot of them, unfortunately, are automated. As soon as they receive a notice, they'll take some sort of reaction as well. They might even not de-index you, but they might shift the ranking without any sort of movement, like what happened here, and there'll be no update. So you'd see, I do feel that can place as well, rather there'll be point system to it rather than de-index, let's give it a bit weaker and play around with the system.
The anonymity is the worst thing, because when I file something for my clients, I do my name, I do my phone number, I do everything because I want to be taken seriously. And I know I am right when I'm doing it because I do multiple checks to make sure I'm not actually messing up something. So I always ask the client, are you sure we have everything in place? Everything is checked. Like I'm like a detective when it comes to it. But they don't check. I could be called someone completely else. I can use someone else's phone number and they will never know, because they start to work on this without actually checking who I am. I was expecting a phone call first time I submitted something, quite frankly. I was all day on it like, is Google going to call me to see if I'm real? I had all of my IDs ready to upload it. There is nothing like sworn statement. I promise I'm doing this in a good faith. I have good intentions. This is wrong. I am the right one. Please take me seriously. But you could be anyone. It's so anonymous. Okay, you need to put the name there and address, but I can make it up. I can be Dirk Schembri when I'm submitting it, because who will know? I find it absolutely horrible. Horrible that this is just so easy. Yeah, and you can take whole website. You submit 1,000 URLs in one claim, because you need to do it by URL. 1,000 of them, website has 3,000 URLs, 3 claims, you're done. And the website, not everything will go through, but imagine just 50% goes through. Or that one 100%. Page goes through. That one page that's making you money.
These attackers are super smart nowadays. And with AI, you can create so many. I think the problem with AI is that it's allowing these attackers to create even more immersive tools because their creativity is beyond a normal worker's measure. Really, they're being super creative and they're leveraging both the tool set with AI to actually outwork the system in this way. So that's why it has. But unfortunately, until it changes, it comes by with any company. Make sure you have a real-time monitoring tool in place, whether it's in-house. So if you don't, you need to contact someone who can help as well. And again, another one is making sure that usually I recommend is make sure you have other brand protection sites, like let's call it.
Yes.
You have a full set of other. I mean, this is where from my services, I have my company now, Growify Labs, where we would build a whole set, five. I always say like a group of 5 or 10 other quality name domains where they would kind of replicate as close as possible your brand. They'll be owned obviously by you as well, but from a ranking point of view, we put them there so they're there just in case something happens and shifts. We can put focus and switch. So make sure that their naming convention is as high quality as possible. Make sure that the content is original. I never say just to copy and paste your content. Make sure it's still original, but still authentic to what the brand holds. And very important, make sure you have that copyright, whatever it is on your brand, that has to be in place, ready to go. I mean, we have literally a Google Drive for, say, each client ready with all the history, and we'll just send that over and keeps on piling up with time. That is vital. Make sure you keep a history, as you said, either have a tool or something that keeps the full history, both of your content, of any changes, of any actions happen to your website, and you're tracking these things in place, ready to hand over to people that can kind of help eliminate this. But yes, we are unfortunately, like with any ranking, at their mercy. And right now, the system is not in our favor at all.
Brand protection. I keep saying this to everyone. Brand protection. It is very difficult when you call yourself Casino Online 12345. You don't have a brand. But if you have a brand, either as an operator or as an affiliate, because a lot of them do have good brands, as Gamblers, Mr. Gamble, Bet Format, there is lots of them that invested in a brand, and you don't protect this brand. What do you think is going to happen? And it doesn't have to be just DMCA takedown. People just will buy this domain, asgamblers.io, as you said, or Australia or something local in Canada, and try to rank for it because the name is searchable and has got search volume. Like, people, wake up. Your brand is your money. I keep saying your brand, your money. It's as simple, and it's the cheapest way you can do. It sounds like a big investment, but it's not. It's not when you think of the revenue you can lose. So yes, bravo that you're doing brand protection services. If you need brand protection services, Dirk is here. Please contact him. I'm 100% sure he knows what he's doing. And as well, another problem is copyrights and trademarks, especially when you have operators or affiliates in a market where we shouldn't be. They don't copyright, they don't trademark, they're too scared to be connected to it. So it's a wild, wild west. It's open season on this. Because if I would have, let's say, affiliation or strong brand in Australia, I shouldn't be there. I'm definitely not going to be all over, I own this content, I own this domain, I have this trademark. I wouldn't. I would be scared, because what if I want to travel for holidays to Australia? And then they stop me and say, uh-oh. So if you are targeting markets you shouldn't, it is a little bit more difficult to protect yourself. So I think here is where the brand protection is even more vital. Like, it's even more important.
For sure. And again, you have to accommodate the brand protection almost for each geo. I have had clients where they say, okay, can we create brand protection sites that covers multiple geos? Unfortunately, the way I see it works is, if you want a brand protection for Australia, buy domains based for that. If you want it in Germany, buy separate ones. I don't feel you can build a global site, one central site that covers multiple geos. They're so specific, these exact match domains, that you have to cater for them per geo to be optimal. But again, you can make sure you have them, make sure you buy all the domain names that relate to you, whatever really, okay, the price, if someone's asking 100,000, that would make sense. But usually these will be $10, $15 to purchase. Make sure you buy all those. And even just have one landing page for each. It doesn't need to be any content heavy, just a simple landing page where it's live and you're getting one of the main ranking factor, which is age, which unfortunately you cannot buy they only can take is once it's indexed, you have the key element of time, which is something I tell clients, listen, this is why it's going to take some time to catch up, even if we invest 10, 20K of backlinks or whatever content, there's an element of time. So whatever it is, publish it, put it online, make it live there. So if ever you need, listen, we need a backup domain to push for, you have one ready to go that's been 3, 6 months, a year there already. That is significant help when it comes to these cases. So yeah, I'm definitely a big firm believer in brand protection. And then again, from my end, one service which I'm sure you're really helping in these to really help rank is, apart from backlinks, is like these viral social boosts, which I know it's somewhat related because we help push indexing to specific pages where we need, like we need a shift would happen within hours. We can really push that with these methods as well.
Sure. I mean, viral boost it's very popular right now. Unfortunately, I see a lot of people using it in a wrong way. So we had a whole video on that when we explaining how it works, because I love when people buy it to a page that is 5 years old with no traffic, no updated content. And suddenly it picks up extreme amount of clicks when before it had 0 for 5 years. So I think, Dirk, we need to make a video on this, how it should work. Okay, like really, we need to explain people how it should work. That will be a different video, because it is a good service if it's used properly. If it's a horrible service, if the tool is bad, and if people don't know how to use it, it's going to kill your website. But if you know how to use it, and if the service is good, because let's be honest, not all of them are, then it's if it's good, then it's good. But as I always say, you can do everything in a good way, from content to link building to viral boost, and you can do it in absolutely horrible way that's going to harm you. And that could be content, that could be backlinks, that could be hosting, that could be technical setup. So if you are going to do viral boost, we will have a video with Dirk, how it works, how it should be used, okay? Because I see extreme amount of issues with this, and I am, as I always say, 50-50 on these tools, because it could be good and could be really, 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 really bad. Cool. Your last closing words to DMCA problems. I think the biggest solution we have for now is being vigilant, being proactive as much as you can, reactive much faster, and brand protection. I think that's the holy, I would say trinity, but I said 4 things. So
Definitely.
holy,
No, I agree.
quattronity.
I mean, that's all I wrote for this. I have closing tips I have written down. Ensure you have real-time tracking tools so you are reactive instantly. So you have to be super quick before you even receive the emails. You know what's going on. That's the pinnacle to this. Make sure you have your copyright in place. That is super important, because after all the work you're done, the legal, like, listen, we push what they're saying. You don't have the right, because we don't have the right, whatever brand copyright protection on certain things. I've experienced that as well. But mainly it's these things, unfortunately. There is, not from my experience, no magic structure that we can do to stop Google. Unfortunately, we are at their mercy. So it is reactivity in these cases. Because, as you said, the damage, even though it sounds expensive, the damage it can cause in such a short time can literally kill a website and its profits for the year.
Thank you so much for sharing this. And what we can do is evangelize how to do this better. And hopefully Google will listen one day and start to maybe stop the anonymity, or try to make it a little bit more difficult to shoot someone's work down.
Absolutely. We look forward to that day. We'll keep praying until then, Ivana.
Yeah, well, it's a long years of praying ahead. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for the time.